Welcome, everybody. So good to be here with you. And I got my miracle. It's been a while since I've been with you, but not since you've been with him. We got Mr. Sean, our dear friend here at Rythmia, sharing with us today overall the incredible experience he's had at Rythmia, because this is not his first week. This is actually
Third week.
his third week here. He's a spiritual warrior here. One of those people that are fearless and do this type of beautiful, powerful work. And he so kindly said yes to share with us his overall experience that I believe is going to be very enriching for all of you listening, all of you that are thinking whether this is good for you. This would be good for you, for your healing, for your path. And the fact that you are listening right now, it is not a coincidence as synchronicity is happening because there is something in your soul that wants it. So, without further ado, thank you, Sean, for
Thank you, Paola,
saying
for having me.
yes again. You know, my teacher, Michael Beckwith, says that when we have that sacred yes, we feel that pull. And yesterday, when I asked him, because he was in such a beautiful state, he's still in such a beautiful, I'm like receiving from his energy. He was like, yes, I'll do it. So I was just so touched by your
Thank you.
willingness. And I would love for you to share with us today, overall, if you could tell us, because I know that it was kind of been in phases for you. Like you
Yeah.
came in April, and then last week, and then this week. So
Right.
where do we start telling people like how this has been for you as a whole?
Sure. Okay. Where do I begin? As a whole, as a whole, I think the theme is generally that Rhythmia had taught me how to save my life. Right. There isn't, a magic thing here. Rhythmia didn't save my life, but Rhythmia taught me how to
Mm-hmm.
save my own life. When you know, I'm not trying to repeat too much stuff from last week, but about 4 or 5 years ago, when I was starting to crack a little bit, or the stress was starting to really be a burden, or that big bag of rocks that I was carrying was starting to be a little bit too full. I went to go get a neurological exam and got my kind of diagnosis of anxiety and depression and PTSD and ADHD. And I started to get treatments from therapists, and started to get I had a very stressful job, but I was trying to push through that, and I was a very goal oriented person, so I was on this path, and I had to keep doing whatever I could. And I just had met this lovely woman who was my girlfriend at the time, but now my wife, that said, hey, I think maybe therapy and maybe something could help you. So I started on that path, and I got on the medications and was eating healthy and doing things right, but it wasn't working, because I kind of got just jammed full of stimulants. They really treated more of the
Didn't get to the
ADHD,
root cause.
not
Yeah.
the root cause.
Mm.
And I just kept pushing myself and pushing myself and working too much. And I was an addict. I was an
Mm-hmm.
addict to to used to be addict to anything. It could have been drinking, could have been drugs. This was now work. I just buried myself at work to get through at this, to reach that next goal, or to get that promotion. Work 100 hours a week, live next to the job site. Dealing with people that were narcissistic, that were just draining me of my energy.
Mm-hmm.
And I really wasn't even spending any time with my family. And I had my daughter will be 2 in October, and
Mm-hmm.
this is about that time when she was just born. And once I had broken, as we know from the how am I gonna Hapapana song? Thank you for the breaking.
Ho'oponopono.
Hapapana song.
Yeah.
It was, I've now realized it was like, thank you for that breaking, because I would have
Yes.
continued to the next job. I would have, I was thinking about starting my own company and just still driving this goal oriented thing, instead of being more curious and enjoying more of life, and not focusing everything on work, because
Right.
I'm just surviving.
Right.
Um,
You reminded me of a Rumi quote that says, "It's through the crack where the light can come in."
yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And once there was something physically wrong with me. I had taken some time off from work on a short-term disability. I thought I was having heart attacks. So then they were taking me off medications, doing testing. So this was 8 months for a year, right? I couldn't
You're
even get
burned
off the
out.
couch. Burnt out. I mean, as burnt out as I could be. And, got to the point of, kind of suicidal thoughts.
Right.
And I was stuck in this purgatory of, well, I can't kill myself because I have this daughter to take care of, and the cycle is going to continue. And it was a dark, dark place for a long time.
Yeah.
And the trigger of getting off the medications and looking to alternative treatments was when I was talking to my psychiatrist, and they had said that, I've said, I'm just trying to get better. Like, you keep trying medications. And he said, I'm not here to make you better. I'm here to get you back to work.
Oh,
And I
wow.
was
That's
like,
crazy.
it just was, I
Wow.
was like, I'm not doing the right thing. So I tried some ketamine treatments, and then that was helping. And I talked with him and a few others, and eventually was looking into further alternative treatments. And I looked at rythmia, and had made the choice to not only do this, but this was the last. I still was at a bad point, even making the selection.
Mm-hmm.
I was off the medications, so I could come to rythmia within like 3 weeks. But I was selling my house, selling the cars. My wife sold everything in the house on Facebook Marketplace, which was amazing.
Wow.
But really, we were moving down to Brazil with her family and our daughter, so she had some support while I was going to get, further help.
Wow.
And, but really my plan was, she was down there, she had all the money, everything was fine. And if rythmia didn't work out, that I was going to take my own life because I was that done. Thankfully,
Yes.
that was not the case. And I really had an unbelievable time at rythmia. But it was in stages, right? That first week, I thought I know what my trauma was, but I was trying to control it, trying to figure out how everything works here,
Mm-hmm.
and wasn't letting go and wasn't surrendering. And I was able to work through, some early traumas that I had, and really kind of forgave myself, and started to really had that breakthrough. Like I had a couple miracles that week.
Yeah.
Of kind of letting go of some things, working through some things. My father's not with us anymore, but for everything I went through with him,
Right.
and some traumas there. I think I had saw him one night on the medicine, and he had said thank you, and there was others behind him, and it was like dealing with this generational trauma that has been going on for generations.
Yeah.
And breaking that chain.
Mm.
And it was beautiful. And I was even the person that arrived at rythmia that week and the person that left. People here said I was two different people.
Wow.
My family and friends, it was two different people. I've had friends come to rythmia since then.
Yeah.
And I really dove into the the integration process, and using the app and really kind of restarting my life.
And just want to acknowledge you, because in your story, I'm hearing someone that even though in the darkest moments, you kept looking, you kept searching. You were so willing, even though, you were so close to like give up. But there was something in you, like your soul is like, I know there's a better way.
There's got to be something.
Yes.
And I really had some great support from my family. I mean, my mother was sending me retreats, with psilocybin retreats or PTSD with veterans. Like we were starting to think outside the box. All right, there's got to be some other answers that are out here. Mm-hmm. And rythmia turned out to be the answer.
Mm-hmm.
And then and I still had some struggles, right? I knew that from my diagnosis and from trying 4 or 5 years of intense therapy and medications, that I had complex trauma. It wasn't one issue.
Right.
So even when I was at rythmia the first week, and I found out that people came back, and I was like, well, if people come back, then it doesn't work, does it?
Right.
Stuff like that.
As if it's just one time deal.
Magic wands, drink some magic medicine, and everything's all better.
And evolution is infinite. Like we continue to peel and evolve. But yes,
So it was really really beautiful, and since then, and I still had some fears that were lingering. Oh, did I'm throwing my career away, and I just sold my house and moved down to Brazil, and what am I doing? And I started to unwind a little bit, but also I realized that it was because I started taking time off practice. So I'm too tired. I'm not gonna do yoga today. I'm not gonna
Right.
meditate. I'm not gonna breathe, and then I'd feel worse the next day, and that can just kind of creep back in.
Compound.
It
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
compound. So when I decided to come back in here again for 2 weeks, I decided to come back to Rhythmia, but this time for 2 weeks, to really dive deep and know that I had some complex traumas to work through.
Yeah.
But since then, I mean, I lost about 60 pounds from April till I came here. I've lost another 10 pounds while I'm here.
Wow.
So in the past 5 months, I've lost, 70 pounds.
The shield of
the-
protection, right? Because we
Just-
protect with weight.
Yes. Oh, and that I loved, and I think I had got it from you, and the answer is you classes, but it was the rocks. You just walking through life. I can take this. I got it. I got it. I got it, and just with complete disregard of self-care or really realizing the damage that you're doing yourself, because I've just been in that fight or flight like my entire life.
Right.
Been in chronic pain my entire life.
Yeah.
Just trying to, but always be like, nope, everything's fine. From the outside, oh, Sean's great, everything's fine. Look at him, and just like inside, just
Dying. Right.
So I had come here and had a beautiful first week, and continued to work through some of the traumas of when I was younger, and really got off the focus of that. I might have had some recent traumas at work, and that wasn't really a great place or work environment for me, but to really lean into the emotions of what happened to the child. And what happened to the child is what happened. We say that what happens between what ages?
0 and 7.
Yeah, 0 and 7. And from there, that's what, really trying to deal with those issues. So I got to a really, sensitive place at the end of last week, where there was looking into some sexual trauma, and was it really mine, or was it something else that I was feeling from generational, and trying to figure that whole thing out. But it was difficult. It's not easy work, and what you get all the time, it's not an exact picture. It's like a puzzle you have to put together.
Right. It's the memories of the subconscious that the medicine taps into, and it's very symbolic sometimes.
Right.
Sometimes it's literal, but it's like you got to navigate it
Right.
with discernment and spiritual authority, so that you don't misinterpret it. And that's what we got, the staff, and we got the shamans, and we got the people that support you here, so that you're like helping people walk in their path without losing sight of what we're doing here.
Yeah. And that asking for help, and the people are so helpful here, and the shaman and the support staff, everybody, because that was, the asking for help and let go and control, and understanding that the program here is done so well.
Yeah.
That, when I came these 2 weeks, I wasn't like let go of control immediately.
Yeah.
Ask for help immediately. And they really helped me through that, because really from day to day, through your emotions, like you can have a different feeling, and then it's a different aha moment the next day. And that's, what you might have thought the day before wasn't exactly right. And then the next day it kind of gets cleared up a little bit.
Yes.
Which I found really interesting.
It's unfolding. You're walking in the unknown, and it's just unfolding minute by minute, and it's fun if you allow it to be that way.
Yes, and when you're not fighting it.
Right.
And when an emotion, if emotion comes up, and it was, really leaning into those emotions, whatever they are. Some were great, some were bad, but if you push away, then it's a little bit more difficult.
Right.
So this week was really beautiful, because I almost had dealt with most of that trauma, and then was really trying to, it was almost like finally tune what the progress I had already made.
Yeah.
And I had some great help, because I kept saying that there was this poison that was in me. There was this poison that had to get out. And his name was Daniel, was one of the helpers with the shaman, with Mitra. And he's like, be careful with your words, because you are saying that you are poison. And then it's again, you're like, using the negative words to describe yourself.
Giving meaning
Meaning.
to that
Yes.
energy and call it poison.
Right.
So yeah.
So instead of just, treating it like a dark energy and trying to treat it with light energy and, almost embracing that and using that as a strength instead of thinking it as a weakness. And, later that night, it all just kind of folded together. And I had some unbelievable nights of just doing yoga and channeling like I was doing positions that I don't even know how to do.
Wow. The yogi in you came
yogi
out.
in me, the cat yogi, meow meow. It was and that, so it feels like I had a real good mixture of the female energy, the male energy, and then the last piece was, really it was like that inner child energy and having fun with it. And then after that, like it all just, the first thing I did after Thursdays all night, Yahe night, was I went to go grab a stone in the labyrinth, and it was fear, and I had no more fear. I had no more. I'm present.
Yes.
I am present. I'm not worrying about the past. I'm not worrying about the future. And then I dropped my fear stone. I have no more, and replaced it with faith in myself.
Yes.
And then just prayed on, faith that I'm going to be a good father, and faith that I'm going to be a good husband, and faith that I'm going to be a good human, and and faith in myself instead of beating myself up, because that's what I did for a long time.
And that's the fear that builds up, and then it puts us to live in the past or in the future. It doesn't allow us to be in the present moment.
And that just, your mind is a powerful thing. It can be your own worst enemy or your
we are the creators, right? We're either creating hell or we're creating heaven. And at Rythmia, doing this weeks of healing, is that you understand that you can create heaven on earth.
Right.
But you gotta choose.
You
gotta choose to show up and allow it to happen. And so now getting a little bit more into like the details of the week, like the food and the yoga and the colonics and all the stuff. Not to get too detailed in the colonics.
Yeah, we don't get too detailed there. But the food is fantastic. It was one of the greatest lessons I learned even that first week. That the food that I was eating and when we were in the U.S. was killing me, and I wasn't eating healthy and eating all chemical food and not fresh. And even moving to Brazil was helpful because it was a nutritious food, but everything here is farm to table, and it forces you to do some fasting, which I really I was successful before, but really focused on here and continued since we're having that big breakfast and a light lunch, and then having our ceremonies. But learning about, because it's not just it's just a ayahuasca retreat. Like an ayahuasca is like a part of it. It's learning the breathing, and that you can control so much only with your breathing. You can calm yourself down, or you can upset yourself with shorter breaths. The yoga, the issues in the tissues, and I, from being that chronic pain, and the yoga really stretching out and breathing helps. So it helps like mind, body, and soul. And the colonics, I remember I wasn't too sure the first time, but I had signed up for 2 each week this week, just to continue to purge anything that was in there. Meditation is fantastic if I can not fall asleep 5 minutes into it, because it's so beautiful with the sound music, the sound healing, and the music. So it's Rythmia really is this full package and programmed healing throughout the week, and everything is coordinated, and released at the right time. And it was a real privilege to see people go through it these 2 weeks, because I had already gone through it the week before and had my own frustrations, and I had my own doubts, and this isn't going to work, and how much money, and Dwayne's trying to this, and then this week was seeing people with those frustrations and trying to just help support them and say, stick with it, you got this, just stay with it. And then all of a sudden, Wednesday or Thursday come around, and they're like, you knew,
Yes.
Thank you. And I was like, it wasn't me, it was you. And then it went off.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Yeah.
um, so that was really beautiful for me. And
Mhm.
then the stem cell program also has
Mhm.
changed my life.
All right.
So I had done um, a smaller amount, a smaller package of stem cells when I first came here. But
Mhm.
I was in chronic pain, and when I was about 30 years old, 28 years old,
Mhm.
I had I got hurt playing rugby. It was bad surgery, 3 surgeries to fix it. I
Mm.
almost didn't know if I was going to be really walking again,
Mm.
and I couldn't really run anymore. I had to either bike or swim, but that impact, I couldn't
Mhm.
take it. There's no more cartilage left in my ankle.
Oh.
And that was really tough because even trying to get back into shape, it would be this frustration and
Right.
anger. I'd be mad at my body, which now I rub my feet and kiss my toes because
Yes.
trying to treat it well.
As a temple.
As a temple, body is
Yeah.
a temple. But 3 weeks after I left Rythmia the first time, I was down in Brazil running on the beach barefoot.
Wow.
No pain,
That's
no pain in my
crazy.
ankle, and I had and no pain throughout.
That's
It
great.
allowed me to train harder and really kind of get back into the shape, which added to that weight loss.
Mhm.
Um, and and when I came back again, I'd signed right up for a larger package of stem cells and work with Dwayne, and and I got it. I'm going right after this for another
Okay.
one,
Yay.
but last week I got them, and towards the end of the week, I got permission to go for a little jog down to the golf course about 3 kilometers away. And did a nice, fast walk down there,
Mhm.
and then did a walk and jog, run back, kind of in, you know,
Mhm.
little spurts.
Mhm.
And I saw the Rhythmia gates, and I decided I'm just gonna go for it. And I went on this full on sprint.
Mm.
And I can't tell you if I ever sprinted like that before.
Wow.
I could feel the feet pushing off. I could feel my glutes moving. My back didn't tighten and seize. And
Right.
by the time I got to the gates, I was in tears. I was so happy that my body was back to this
Right.
healthy version again, or it was evolving to something
Right.
better.
And when we move the energy, the traumas, the resistances, yeah, your body like has such a powerful, it's so powerful to heal itself, plus
Right.
the stem cells, plus the food,
Right.
plus everything that you've learned and practiced here. I love to refer to the 3 stages of relationship that I taught this week. First is safety, second is trust, and third is surrender.
Yeah.
And so you just walked us through your journey of like, you come here, you're not sure, the mind, the ego, it's like, is this going to work for me? And then it has a lot of opinions, and it's entitled in many ways because it doesn't want to let go. But then the program has been so masterfully created, and it's been mastered because it repeats. It's been, main reason it's been operating since 2016.
Right.
That then it's so amazing to see people like you, and like you saw this last week, going into trust. Oh, I can trust. I can let go of this armor that is telling me I'm not safe. I can trust. I have all these people supporting me.
Right.
And then the last piece is that surrender, which I completely feel from you right now. Like, your state is amazing. I can feel your radiance of like, I know I can trust myself.
Right.
I know I can trust life. I know this is a good life.
Right. It's that positivity and leaving whatever doesn't serve me and just letting it go.
Yeah.
And it was that I couldn't figure out how to let go of the backpack, no matter what. Even after the first week, I still I might have emptied it a little bit,
Right.
but I still had some of it because it was that fight or flight. I was born into chaos, and that's all I knew, and you always kind of go back to it, and because that's what feels safe, and you can but trust in that.
Yes.
There's a better way.
A better way. So last words, when someone asks you about home, if they ask you, or if they open the door for that and they tell you, "What? Tell me, like in a few words, if you could, what is all this about?" Meaning, how would you say like an elevator? I don't want to say that elevator pitch, but like if you could say a few words about like what is this week here at Rhythmia and why people should do it.
I think I I think that people should do it because no matter where you are, you can be a better version of yourself, right? Please
Mm.
do not wait until you're completely broken,
Mm.
like I did, to come to a place like this. You can come here if you're struggling at all, or even if you're not, just to find a better version of yourself. You know, a lot of the information you already know, but it's just reinforce it,
Yeah.
and it's how the message is given, and to learn some better practices because it doesn't. Once you get into these better practices, all you have to do is maintain those to have a better life.
Right.
You know?
Beautiful.
So yeah, don't wait for the complete breaking.
Yeah. I love it. Now, I said it was the last question, but I have
That's
one
okay.
more.
That's all right.
If you could put a title on everything, like if you could put a title on this experience at Rhythmia, what would you say it was for you?
Oof. Um, Experience. Well, I know that the title of my book is going to be Square Block Circle Hole because that's all I did my whole life. But I'm
Okay.
working on that. But that's not what this plays. It's finding presence.
Oh.
Finding presence.
Wow.
Because for everyone, I think anyone can benefit from having more presence.
Yeah.
Right? Especially if you're suffering from depression or anxiety because you're either living in the past or you're worrying about the future, and just being present and worrying about, it's like an old boot camp thing, but it's chow to chow, Sunday to Sunday. You just have to worry about what you're doing right now, what you're doing before breakfast, what you're doing before lunch, what you're doing before dinner. And when you do that, um, you just become a better version of yourself because you're not, this isn't a mess,
Right.
it's you're right there in the moment doing the best that you can do.
I love it.
So it would be,
Finding
finding
presence.
presence.
Maybe that's your second book.
The
Oh
second
my
book.
God. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
thank you, Paula.
Oh,
Thank you.
so great. I love it. Okay. I feel very, very blessed to have been in the presence of this beautiful light warrior.
Thank you.
And I hope you enjoyed this conversation as much as I did. And yeah, we invite you to come here to this incredible place. Have a beautiful rest of your weekend, and we'll see you next Saturday. Goodbye.